Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the 2018 to 2027 Chiron in Aries transit, part 3 of 3, and I'm going to talk about the transit's possible impact on the zodiac signs Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, people, well, first thing up is as far as this transit goes for this sign. Well, as far as Libra goes, well, for Libra, the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So Libra may be trying to emulate others, just in general. And really, and maybe even people that they're involved in a significant relationship with to attain identity, or and they may not feel worthy of relationships at this time. This could be, I mean, you're talking about the Chiron in Aries can be difficulty with really about identity and the self, and there may be a desire more so for Libra than usual to be inconspicuous at this time and not really be quite as sociable as usual. Now, also, too, there could be some suffering and sorrow due to contentious, combative relationships, and also perhaps even acrimonious situations with open adversaries and enemies, and even battles that are connected with legalities, legal situations, and they may become headaches, might even give Libra some literal headaches at this time. And also, I mean, there could be really maybe some emotional wounds connected with lack of enterprise and initiative in legal matters and relationships, and dealing with open enemies, maybe not being aggressive or assertive or forceful enough in those matters, and maybe even some sorrow connected with lack of aggression and negotiation and compromise. Now, on the good side, though, what Libra may have difficulty with in these situations I just described, possible situations that I described, they may be able to help others out dealing with comparable difficulties, and do so with a lot of Aries like fortitude, courage, aggression, and assertiveness. Now, as far as Scorpio goes, well, the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So Scorpio may go through some sorrow and despondency due to feelings of unworthiness at their place of employment. They might have issues of fitting in, perhaps, or maybe where their role is in terms of at their job and their workplace. And it could also be dealing with some combative and militant situations at work. There could be accidents at work that might wind up leading to areas like injuries, such as something connected with the head or the face. There could be Aries health-related issues that cause some sorrow and despondency at this time. There can be maybe identity issues, may even cause some difficulties in the daily routine, and really it could be some also too difficulty finding uniqueness at their workplace. There may be lack of initiative and enterprise in health and work related matters. And really, looking at this, well, what Scorpio can do in areas they're having difficulties with in connection with this transit, they can help others dealing with comparable problems, and doing so with that areas like fortitude, aggression, assertiveness, and courage. Now, as far as Sagittarius goes, well, the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, Sagittarius may go through, with this transit, may go through feelings of unworthiness in connection with love, romance, and children. And it could be, looking at this, there might be some emotional wounds and suffering connected maybe with acrimonious, contentious situations with lovers and children Perhaps there can be foolhardiness in adventure sports, which might actually cause some literal injuries if you're not, like, say, wearing a helmet when you're supposed to. Say if you're cycling or whatever sport you really need to wear as a precautionary measure, not wearing it. This could lead to, not wearing it, of course, could lead to some kind of facial or head injury. And sometimes even concussions and brain damage, perhaps. So this is something to look at for Sagittarius. Now, also it could be some emotional wounds and suffering connected with impulsive and impetuous gambling and speculation. And really maybe being too much in a hurry to take a gamble or to take a chance on things of a speculative nature. Now, also true, there might be some suffering due to lack of enterprise and initiative in finding outlets for enjoyment and fun, perhaps. And there might be where Sagittarius might be having trouble fitting in a certain way in terms of having love and fitting in someone's life in terms of love and romance. And also, too, as far as this goes for Sagittarius on the positive side, and issues where they may be having difficulty in connection with this Chiron and Aries transit, they may be able to help others out going through comparable situations and doing so with a lot of that Aries forcefulness, assertiveness, aggressiveness, outspokenness, and courage. Now, next thing up, as far as Capricorn goes, well, the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So for Capricorn, well, there might be some anger issues connected with emotional security. And also, too, Capricorn might be dealing with feeling disconsolate or despondent over lack of identifying the self at the core. And there could also be some emotional wounds and suffering in connection perhaps with contentious and combative situations on the home front and with people Capricorn may be close at home with. There could be some exasperation and frustration, maybe not being able to get in touch with one's roots, perhaps, and ancestry. There might be situations dealing with lack of enterprise and initiative in traditions, and doing home-related matters and things connected with family-related projects, such as like home renovation or repair, siding, roofing, etc. Now, also, too, there might be Capricorn might be going with certain dealing with certain feelings of unworthiness and maybe not fitting in somehow in their home life and not feeling worthy, perhaps as a family member for whatever reasons. Now, also, though, but on the positive side, Capricorn might be able to help others out going through comparable situations and doing so with a lot of this Aries, like the courage, fortitude, forcefulness, aggressiveness, and outspokenness, and speaking one's mind about it. So anyway, well, next up is Aquarius, and as far as Aquarius goes, the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So Aquarius might be going through some emotional wounds and suffering, dealing with contentious and disputatious situations with neighbors and siblings. It might be ones that are rather pugnacious and feisty and combative. And it can be, and this of course could lead to some emotional suffering. There might also be maybe certain apprehension in communication of thoughts and ideas, maybe thinking that these ideas and these thoughts are not worthy of being expressed or conveyed. And the way this could another way that this could manifest for Aquarius, as far as the third house and Chiron and Aries energy goes, is that one might actually be overly confrontational and aggressive in third house matters, such as maybe people they meet in their short journey, siblings, neighbors, or maybe lack of. And either way it may go, it could lead to some kind of strong repercussions and sorrow. Now, Also, too, there might be some emotional wounds and suffering connected with lack of enterprise in matters pertaining to short journeys, such as maybe working on one's vehicle and maybe procrastinating and not taking the initiative with it, or maybe not taking care of going to a certain destination at a certain time, and maybe being hesitant and procrastinating regarding it. And also, there can be, in some cases, in some isolated cases, some accidents, literal accidents that might happen, whether it might be attributed to this road rage, or just the simple fact of accidents may be connected with someone else driving recklessly, or what have you. And another thing, and especially if this is like making an adverse aspect to your natal Mars, this obviously won't help matters. Now, and also, too, I mean, Aquarius may resort to some kind of outlandish or bizarre, unorthodox behavior in order to be accepted by people connected with the third house, such as neighbors, siblings, people prominent in their early education. Aquarius can be bizarre anyway, but they may take this really to another level at this time in order to just maybe find some sense of uniqueness or fitting in with these people. Now, last but not, I want to also say, as far as Aquarius goes, again, whatever difficulties Aquarius may be going through in connection with this transit, they may be able to help others dealing with comparable problems, and doing so with a lot of the areas like fortitude, courage, valor, outspokenness, and assertiveness. Now, last but not least, as far as Pisces goes, well, for Pisces, the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So for Pisces, well, remember, this is something where Pisces might go through some suffering, emotional suffering and wounds connected maybe with the lack of identity in the self, which may lead to diminished self-esteem and self-worth, and maybe not really fitting in at the place where they generate income with the other people that are there. And the problem with this is that Pisces, as many of you may know, is very malleable anyway. I mean, Pisces really, I mean, many Pisces already have kind of an identity issue because, I mean, based on the theory which I concur with, is that they are, which some may not agree, but I concur and agree with this, that they're the amalgamation or combination of the previous 11 zodiac signs. So this is could be like a double whammy for them in a way. Now, another thing too is that Pisces may be going through some tribulation, dealing with contentious, combative situations with people they generate money with, and maybe anyone that might figure prominently in their resources and their possessions as well. And there also can be strong lack of enterprise and initiative over monetary matters, which could lead to some sorrow and despondency, and maybe even lack of being confrontational over possessions and things that you do that Pisces may value at this time, and maybe even standing up for oneself in matters pertaining to finances, possessions, and resources. Now, as far as this goes, though, on the positive side for Pisces, in areas that they're having difficulties with in connection with the transit, they may actually be able to help others out dealing with comparable situations, and doing so with a lot of the areas like outspokenness, assertiveness, forcefulness, aggression, and fortitude. Well, anyway, people, that will conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my take on Chiron and the 2018 to 2027 Chiron in Aries transit part 3. And stay tuned next time, where I am going to be delineating the chart of renowned astrologer Noel Tyl. Anyway, people, two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel, but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.